The Warriors just keep getting better. The Warriors were locked in from start to finish last night. They held off the Pistons and came away with a 115-110 win. It was their 4th straight victory and their 9th win in the last 10 games. Since Jimmy Butler made his debut on February 8th, they've gone 11-2 overall. And in games he's played, they're 11-1. That consistency showed again in this one. The game stayed tight the entire way. Cade Cunningham gave Detroit the lead with under a minute left, but Draymond Green answered back with a clutch three-pointer to put Golden State ahead for good. After that, the Warriors locked in on defense, and Green grabbed a loose ball that led to a free throw. They closed it out from there. The night wasn't without some drama. Early in the second quarter, there was a strange delay when a fire alarm went off. It stopped the game for about 5 minutes, and they even told fans to evacuate. Luckily, it turned out to be nothing, and play resumed. The Warriors didn't let it throw them off. Steph Curry passed a major milestone, scoring his 25,000th career point. Even though his three-point shot wasn't falling like it usually does, he still finished with 32 points and made every single one of his 12 free throws. That's exactly the kind of leadership they needed to push through a close game. The Warriors' balance stood out again. 6 different players scored in double figures, and they controlled the boards, played tough defense, and made the most of their chances at the line. They kept their composure even when Detroit made a late push, and that's what sealed the win. Now let's get into the numbers. Steph Curry led all scorers with 32 points. He hit 8 of 22 shots from the field and 4 of 15 from 3. Even though his three-point percentage was off, he stayed aggressive and made all 12 of his free throws. Curry also grabbed 3 rebounds, handed out 4 assists, and had 1 steal. When he was on the floor, the Warriors outscored the Pistons by 11 points. Jimmy Butler was steady again, scoring 26 points on 9 for 17 shooting. He hit 2 of his 4 three-point tries and made 6 of 7 from the line. Butler also had 9 rebounds, including 8 on defense and 5 assists. While he didn't register any steals or blocks, his impact was all over the place, and his shot making in the third quarter was huge for Golden State. Draymond Green filled the stat sheet with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. He made 3 of his 7 field goal attempts and 2 of his 5 from beyond the arc. He went 4 for 6 on free throws and was a big reason the Warriors held things together defensively. Green also had 3 steals and 1 block, and his +9 ± showed how valuable he was all game long. Moody got his 16th start of the season and chipped in 12 points. He hit 3 of his 11 shots and 2 of 5 from 3. Plus, he went 4 for 4 on free throws. Moody was a factor on the glass, pulling down 7 rebounds, with 4 of them coming on the offensive end. He also had 3 assists and 3 steals. His +2 ± reflected a solid, all-around game. Off the bench, Gui Santos gave the Warriors a huge boost. He scored 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting and nailed 1 of his 2 three-point attempts. Santos made 4 of 6 free throws and grabbed 6 rebounds, including 2 on the offensive glass. He also had 1 assist. His +14 ± was the best on the team, and it showed how much energy he brought when he came in. Buddy Hield added 8 points off the bench, going 3 for 7 from the field and 1 for 5 from beyond the arc. He made 1 of his 2 free throws and was active on the boards, pulling down 4 rebounds. 3 of those were offensive boards, giving Golden State second chance opportunity. Hield also had 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. His +2 ± showed he made a positive impact in his time on the floor. Quentin Post scored 6 points in his minute, hitting 3 of 10 shots. He struggled from deep, missing all 5 of his three-point attempts. Post also grabbed 2 defensive rebounds, dished out 1 assist, and came up with 1 steal. His ± was -2, but he continued to battle. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, the dubs. As a team, the Warriors finished with 6 players scoring at least 12 points. They shot well from the free throw line and took care of the boards, especially on defense. Their ability to stay locked in during the late stages of the game made all the difference. The final score of 115-110 reflected how close this game was. The Warriors had to fight for it, but they kept their composure, hit key shots when they needed to, and made stops on defense. They've now won 4 in a row in 9 of their last 10. And if they keep putting up these kinds of numbers, they're going to stay hot. But I feel like what we haven't done for the Warriors in a minute is go over each individual player and what they've been doing this season. And we gotta start with Butler. Jimmy Butler has been unbelievable since joining the Warriors. They are now 11-1 when he plays. That speaks for itself. The fact that they are just a couple of plays away from being 13-0 in the Jimmy Butler era makes it even more exciting. They have won 9 straight games with him in the starting 5. He has brought a level of consistency and control that this team needed. Jimmy Butler wasted no time making an impact. He became the fastest player in Warriors franchise history to record over 100 points, 25 rebounds, and 25 assists. That's not just fast, it's historic. He fits perfectly with the team's style of play, but more importantly, he elevates everyone around him. As the pick and roll ball handler, Butler has been one of the best in the entire league. His field goal percentage in those situations is 53.2%. That ranks him 4th in the league, behind only Ayo Dosunmu, De'Aaron Fox, and DeMar DeRozan. His ability to make smart decisions out of the pick and roll has given the Warriors an extra weapon they didn't have before. Butler has also been getting to the line at an impressive rate. His foul drawing frequency on isolation plays is 22.2%, which ranks 2nd in the league behind only RJ Barrett. That ability to force defenders into fouls changes games. It slows things down when needed, helps control the pace, and puts pressure on opponents' defense constantly. And when Butler drives to the basket, he takes care of the ball better than anyone. His turnover percentage on drives is just 2.8%, the best in the league. More than 80% of players are turning the ball over more often in those situations. That combination of aggression and control is rare. He attacks, but stays under control. The team's offensive rating with Butler on the floor is 119.0. Defensively, they are at 112.4. That gives them a net rating of plus 6.6. That is a huge swing and shows exactly how much he helps on both ends of the court. His mixed teamwork ranking backs this up. Butler creates a positive margin for his team. Compared to other players in the league, the Warriors have a positive plus-minus in 59.5% of games with Butler. The team's point difference when he's on the court compared to when he's off is plus 2.1. That's better than 93% of players in the league. It shows his value whether he's scoring, assisting, or just moving the ball. Butler's ball handling is another huge part of his game. He ranks higher than 93% of players in the league on 3 different ball handling metrics. He's careful with the ball, but aggressive enough to make plays happen. That's exactly what the Warriors needed to balance their offense. His assist numbers are steady, at 5 assists per game. His assist percentage is 24.4%, which means he's assisting on nearly 1 out of every 4 teammate field goals while he's on the floor. He's responsible for creating about 13.1 points per game from his assists alone. That ranks better than 89% of players. He's not just scoring himself, he's creating scoring opportunities for everyone else. Turnovers are almost never a problem for Butler. His turnover percentage is just 6.27%, meaning he's turning the ball over on only about 6 out of every 100 actions he takes that end a play. That includes shots, trips to the free throw line, assists, or turnovers. Only about 71% of players are better in that stat, but when you combine it with everything else he does, it makes his efficiency on the floor stand out. Butler's usage rate is 21.3%. That means a little more than 1 out of every 5 plays ends with him taking a shot, getting to the free throw line, handing out an assist, or turning it over. He's involved, but he's not dominating the ball. That balance works well with the Warriors system. He gets his shots, but he also creates for others and keeps the offense moving. On average, Butler takes 10.9 field goal attempts, gets to the free throw line 6.8 times, hands out 5 assists, and turns it over just 1.3 times per game. Those numbers tell the story of a player who picks his spots and makes good decisions. In the 62.4 possessions per game he plays, he's constantly finding ways to make a difference. Butler's presence on defense has also helped the Warriors tighten up. His defensive rating of 112.4 reflects that. He's not always making the highlight plays on that end, but his positioning, awareness, and ability to switch onto different players have made things easier for everyone else on the floor. Since joining the team, Butler has brought an edge that the Warriors needed. He's calm, experienced, and knows how to control the tempo of the game. Whether it's slowing things down in a tight game or getting to the free throw line when the offense stalls, he's always making the right play. The team's 9-game win streak with him in the starting lineup shows exactly how much of an impact he's had. His efficiency in the pick and roll, his ability to draw fouls, and his careful decision-making with the ball have made the Warriors a tougher team to defend. Opponents can't focus on Curry the same way anymore because Butler makes them pay in so many different ways. His ability to get to the line and score in isolation has given the Warriors another reliable option when things break down, and he's doing it without turning the ball over. His assist numbers, low turnover percentage, and positive on-off rating all point to a player who makes smart, winning plays. Jimmy Butler has changed the Warriors. They are winning more, playing smarter, and staying consistent with him on the floor. At 11-1 with Butler, it's clear he's made them better. And the fact they are just a couple plays away from being 13-0 makes it even more exciting for what's coming next. But then, of course, we got to talk about Curry. Steph Curry just keeps rewriting the history books. Last night, he eclipsed 25,000 career points, becoming only the 10th player in NBA history to score 25,000 points with a single team. That's an incredible accomplishment, and he did it in a way only Curry can. What makes it even crazier is that Steph has the fewest free throw attempts by any player to reach that milestone. Most guys rack up points at the line, but Curry has done it while relying heavily on his shooting, especially from deep. It's one of those stats that shows just how unique his scoring has been. Since the All-Star break, Curry has been on an absolute tear. He's averaging 29.9 points per game, which is second in the entire league, behind only Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's at 34.8. Right behind Curry is LeBron James at 29 flat. That puts Curry in elite company, and he's doing it while shouldering a massive load for the Warriors on offense. His impact goes way beyond scoring. Curry has the third best total plus-minus post All-Star break at plus 103. Only Toumani Camara and Miles Turner have higher totals, both tied at plus 109. That plus-minus shows that when Curry is on the floor, the Warriors are not just good, they're dominant. He's consistently swinging games in their favor. Curry's net rating post All-Star break is 21.2, which is second best in the league, behind Turner's 24.2. That number reflects how well the team performs on both ends when he's out there. Curry's presence boosts their offense, and he helps keep their defense steady too. And in clutch moments, Curry is still money from three. He has the fifth best three-point percentage in the clutch at 38.9%. Only Derek White, Malik Beasley, CJ McCollum, and Tyrese Halliburton are ahead of him. That's more accurate than 98% of players in the league. When the game's on the line, Curry's still one of the guys you want taking the shot. Curry's offensive rating is 119.3. His defensive rating is 114.6. That gives him a net rating of plus 4.7. The Warriors are better on both ends when he's on the floor, and that 5-point swing matters in close games. It's a direct reflection of how Curry changes everything when he's out there. Looking at his mixed teamwork rating, Curry ranks among the best in the league in terms of how much his presence creates a positive margin for his team. The Warriors have a positive plus-minus in 61.8% of games when he plays. That's a huge indicator of how much he affects winning. And the on-off difference, which measures the team's point differential when he's on the court versus when he's off, is plus 5.9. That's better than 70% of players across the league. It proves that his impact goes beyond just the numbers. Even on defense, Curry's influence has been felt. His mixed team defense rating ranks him higher than 70% of players. He's helped prevent teams from scoring efficiently, both by his own play and by helping the Warriors' overall defensive effort. He's averaging 1.1 steals per game and blocking 0.4 shots, with 3.9 defensive rebounds. Those may not look massive, but they all add up, and his presence helps the team's defensive efficiency, which sits at 114.6. That's better than 95% of players at his position. Curry's usage rate is 29.3%. Nearly 1 out of every 3 offensive plays ends with him either taking a shot, getting to the free throw line, handing out an assist, or turning it over. That's a huge offensive load, and he's handling it without slowing down. On average, Curry is taking 18.1 field goal attempts, going to the line 4.1 times, dishing out 6.2 assists, and turning it over 2.9 times per game. That's a high volume role, but his efficiency stays right where you want it. He's playing 67.7 possessions per game and stays aggressive throughout. Curry's workload shows up in his ability to carry the offense without sacrificing ball, movement, or efficiency. The fact that he's still assisting over 6 times a game while being the team's primary scorer speaks volumes about how he runs the offense. This season, Curry's ability to keep defenses honest has made life easier for everyone on the floor. Teams have to stay glued to him far beyond the three-point line, and that opens lanes and passing opportunities for his teammates. Even when he's not taking the shot, Curry's gravity pulls defenders out of position and gives the Warriors a major advantage. Curry has also been reliable in late game situations. His clutch shooting, decision-making, and ability to get to the free throw line when it matters are still among the best in the league. That 38.9% shooting in clutch moments is just another example of how much you can trust him when the game's on the line. And that 25,000 point milestone is not just about longevity. Curry has reached it without racking up huge free throw totals. He's done it with efficiency, range, and skill. Most players need a ton of free throws to hit that number. Curry did it differently, and that sets him apart from almost everyone who's come before him. He's one of only 10 players in NBA history to score 25,000 points with a single team. That loyalty and production don't happen often, and it's another reason why Curry is so special. Every point he's scored has been in a Warriors uniform. He's built this legacy from the ground up, and he's still going strong. Since the All-Star break, Curry has elevated his game to another level. He's scoring almost 30 points per game, keeping the offense running, and making clutch shots when they matter most. His plus-minus and net rating prove that his presence makes the Warriors a better team on both ends of the floor. Curry's defense might not always get talked about, but his steals, deflections, and ability to read plays have helped keep opponents in check. He's committed to making stops when they need him, and it shows in the team's defensive efficiency numbers. Right now, Curry is showing exactly why he's one of the greatest players of all time. Whether it's scoring, passing, or leading, he's doing it all. And the Warriors are reaping the benefits. With Curry on the floor, they've got a chance to win every single night. But then we can talk about Draymond. Draymond Green still has it. There's no other way to put it. Night after night, he's proving he's one of the most important pieces on this Warriors team. Since the All-Star break, Draymond has been huge. His total plus-minus is plus 99, which ranks 4th in the entire league. That's not just impressive. It shows how much his presence impacts winning. When Draymond is on the court, the Warriors play better. It's that simple. Draymond's playmaking has always been elite, and now he's passed Guy Rodgers for second on the Warriors' all-time assist list. He's got 4,856 assists and counting. That's more than 96% of players in the league's history. For a guy who's not a traditional point guard, that's crazy. His vision, unselfishness, and ability to read the floor have made him one of the smartest passers in the NBA. This season, Draymond's offensive rating is 118.5. His defensive rating is 111.2. That gives him a net rating of plus 7.3. That's a huge swing, and it's better than most of the league. The Warriors are better when Draymond's on the floor because of how he runs the offense and anchors the defense. That plus 7.3 net rating isn't an accident. He's still controlling games. Draymond's mixed teamwork ranking shows just how much he helps create a positive margin for the team. The Warriors have a positive plus-minus in 64% of games when he plays. His on-off differential is plus 4.8, which is better than 95% of players in the league. When he's on the floor, they score more and give up less. That's what you want from a leader. And his ball handling is up there with the best. He ranks higher than 95% of players on 3-step ball handling metrics. Draymond doesn't just make the simple pass, he breaks defenses down and finds the open man in ways few big men ever have. His average of 5.9 assists per game speaks for itself. He's assisting on 26% of his teammates' field goals while he's on the floor. That's more than 88% of players. He's generating 14.4 points per game from his assists alone. The guy makes everyone around him better. Even though Draymond takes fewer scoring attempts, about 8.4 per game, he's always a factor. His turnover percentage is 14.51%. That's the number of times he turns it over per 100 actions that end a play. It's a little higher than some players, but with the responsibilities he takes on, it's not surprising. He's constantly making plays, and the Warriors live with the risks because of the rewards. On the defensive side, Draymond's still one of the best in the league. His mixed team defense ranking puts him higher than 94% of players. He prevents opponents from scoring better than almost anyone. His individual defense is strong, and he makes everyone on the floor better defenders. His defensive rating is 111.2, and that's with him guarding multiple positions and anchoring their schemes. Draymond averages 1.3 steals and 1 block per game. He's also grabbing 5.1 defensive rebounds each night. He helps close out possessions, and his awareness keeps opponents from getting easy second chance points. His defensive rebound percentage is 16.56%. That means he grabs nearly 17% of all available defensive boards while he's on the court. That's better than 75% of players. On the boards overall, Draymond averages 6.2 rebounds per game. He pulls in 1.1 offensive rebounds per game, and his offensive rebound percentage is 3.81%. That ranks him higher than 50% of players, which is solid considering his role. He's not just chasing boards, he's keeping plays alive when it matters most. Rebounding has always been an underappreciated part of Draymond's game. He's grabbing those tough boards in traffic and starting fast breaks off defensive rebounds. He's not just securing the ball, he's turning defense into offense in seconds. That's something he's done his whole career, and he's still doing it at a high level. Draymond's presence on the floor helps the Warriors in ways that don't always show up on the stat sheet. He communicates, organizes the defense, and makes sure guys are in the right spots. That leadership matters, especially in crunch time, and the numbers back it up. His defensive efficiency helps keep the Warriors competitive on that end every night. He's also taking care of business when it comes to ball security. His turnover numbers may look high on paper, but considering how often he's initiating offense, it's not a problem. He's making tough passes, threading needles, and finding shooters. That's why his assist-to-turnover ratio still holds up. 5.9 assists to 2.4 turnovers per game is more than manageable, especially with how much he touches the ball. Draymond's defensive versatility keeps him on the floor in every situation. He can guard 1 through 5 and switches onto guards without giving up easy baskets. His ability to protect the rim with 1 block per game while also stepping out on the perimeter is rare. Most players can't do both. He's still doing it as well as ever, and his impact on the team's overall performance is clear. That on-off differential of plus 4.8 means the Warriors are nearly 5 points better when Draymond plays. He's influencing games on both ends, and that's why his net rating is one of the best on the team. Draymond has always been known for his leadership, and this season is no different. He's holding everyone accountable, setting the tone on defense, and keeping the offense flowing. Passing Guy Rodgers on the all-time franchise assists list is just the latest example of how valuable he's been for the Warriors over the years. Right now, Draymond's numbers show he's still one of the most impactful players on the court. Whether it's plus-minus, net rating, assists, steals, rebounds, or defensive efficiency, he's delivering across the board. He's still the heartbeat of the Warriors, and his game is showing no signs of slowing down. After him, though, I want to talk about Pods. Brandin Pods has been one of the toughest and most reliable young players on the Warriors this season. Even after getting hurt against the Nets the other day, his presence has already left a huge mark. Before that injury, he dropped 19 points in back-to-back games, showing just how consistent he's becoming on the offensive end. The Warriors have trusted him with big minutes, and he's responded by doing all the little things that lead to winning. One of the most impressive things about Pods is how often he sacrifices his body on defense. Kyle Lowry leads NBA history with 282 charges drawn in his career. Brandin Pods already has 44 charges drawn, and he's not even 2 full seasons into his career yet. If he keeps this up and plays for at least 10 seasons, he's on track to reach 450 charges. That would absolutely shatter Lowry's record. It shows how fearless Pods is when he's on the floor. He's constantly putting his body on the line to get stops, and that effort gives the Warriors extra possessions and momentum. His mixed teamwork rating is solid, ranking higher than 85% of players across the league. His offensive rating is 113.6, and his defensive rating is an incredible 107.1. That's a net rating of plus 6.5, showing how well he's balancing both ends of the court. When Pods is playing, the Warriors outscore their opponents by a solid margin, and his impact has been consistent all season. The Warriors have a positive plus-minus in 54% of the games Pods plays. His on-off differential is plus 2.8, which is better than 84% of players. When he's on the court, the team scores more and gives up less. It's exactly what you want from a player who understands his role and executes it to perfection. Pods' ball handling metrics rank him better than 84% of players. He's steady with the ball in his hands, making smart decisions and rarely forcing bad passes. He averages 3.4 assists per game, while keeping his turnovers low at just 1.1 per game. His assist rate is 19.84%, meaning he's assisting on nearly 1 out of every 5 teammate field goals while he's on the floor. That's higher than 76% of players in the league. He's not just scoring, he's creating opportunities for others too. He's generating 8.7 points per game from his assists alone. And with a turnover percentage of 7.66%, Pods keeps mistakes to a minimum. Only about 22% of players turn the ball over less frequently on a per-play basis. He averages 9.6 scoring attempts per game and keeps things efficient and under control, which has been a big part of why the Warriors trust him in key situations. On defense, Pods ranks better than 96% of players when it comes to preventing opponents from scoring as a team and on an individual basis. His defensive rating of 107.1 reflects that impact. He's averaging 1.1 steals and 0.2 blocks per game while grabbing 3.8 defensive rebounds. His defensive activity helps set the tone, and he's constantly in the right spots to contest shots and cut off passing lanes. He's not the biggest guy on the floor, but his instincts and hustle make him one of the most effective defenders on the team. Whether it's drawing charges, jumping passing lanes, or rotating to help out a teammate, Pods brings energy on every defensive possession. On the boards, Pods averages 3.8 defensive rebounds per game. He's doing that as a guard, which is huge. He knows how to track the ball and put himself in position to grab rebounds in traffic. That ability to finish defensive plays with rebounds has kept opponents from getting second chance opportunities. Pods' usage rate is 17.6%. That means a little less than 1 out of every 5 offensive plays ends with him taking a shot, going to the free throw line, handing out an assist, or turning it over. He's not dominating the ball, but he's getting involved enough to stay active and make things happen. On average, Pods takes 8.9 field goal attempts per game, gets to the free throw line 1.5 times, hands out 3.4 assists, and only turns it over 1.1 times in 52 possessions played. His willingness to share the ball while remaining aggressive as a scorer makes him a perfect fit in the Warriors system. He knows when to push the pace and when to slow things down, keeping the offense bound. And he's one of those guys who does a little bit of everything without needing plays called for him. Brandin Pods' value isn't just in the box score, though. His energy, hustle, and toughness have given the Warriors a serious boost. Drawing 44 charges in under 2 seasons says everything about how committed he is to doing the dirty work. He's the kind of player who makes winning plays that fans and coaches both appreciate. The fact that Pods could realistically end up with over 450 charges drawn in his career is wild. No one else in NBA history has done that. And if he keeps drawing them at this rate, he's going to shatter the current record. That kind of fearless play can swing games, and it shows why he's such an important piece of the Warriors' rotation. Even after the injury against the Nets, Pods has already proven that he belongs. 19 points in each of the 2 games before that shows he's finding his rhythm as a scorer. He's making shots, playing tough defense, and doing everything the team needs him to do. Whether it's stepping in to take a charge, making a key pass, or grabbing a tough rebound, Pods' impact can be felt all over the court. Right now, Pods is showing why he's a future leader for the Warriors. He's already making winning plays, and if he keeps developing at this pace, the sky's the limit. Every time he's on the floor, the team plays better. That's what makes him such a valuable piece moving forward. But then I want to talk about Moody. Moses Moody is quietly becoming one of the most reliable and impactful players on the Warriors this season. He's already got the highest win percentage by a starter in the league at 93.8%. That is not just impressive, it's elite. Whenever Moody is in the starting lineup, the Warriors win. Simple as that. His impact goes beyond just numbers, but the numbers are starting to show just how valuable he really is. This season, Moody has made a huge defensive leap, and it has not been talked about enough. He's on track to become one of the best two-way players in the league if he keeps up this pace. His presence on defense has been critical for the Warriors, and his development on that end of the floor has made their team defense much more reliable. On offense, Moody is averaging 9.6 points per game. That puts him ahead of 65% of players in the league. He's not putting up massive numbers, but he's efficient, and he scores within the flow of the game. His effective field goal percentage is 55.3%, which ranks him higher than 64% of players. That number accounts for his three-point shooting and shows he's converting at a high rate. Moody's true shooting percentage is 58.5%, which measures his scoring efficiency, including free throws. That's better than 80% of players. He's scoring 1.2 points per shooting attempt, making him one of the more efficient scorers on the team. He's not just chucking shots, he's taking smart ones and making them count. His scoring comes from a balance between 2-point field goals and 3-point shooting. He averages 1.6 2-point field goals and 1.7 3-point field goals per game. He's taking 7.4 field goal attempts each game and gets to the free throw line 1.8 times. Those are solid numbers for a player who doesn't dominate the ball but makes every possession matter. Moody's offensive rating is 116.3 and his defensive rating is 111.0. That gives him a net rating of plus 5.3. When he's on the floor, the Warriors are better on both ends. That positive margin shows up in his mixed teamwork rating, which ranks higher than 80% of players across the league. He's doing his job and helping the team win. The Warriors have a positive plus-minus in 55.4% of the games Moody plays. His on-off differential is plus 0.8, which means the team performs slightly better when he's on the floor. That might not sound huge, but when you're playing in a tight rotation and giving consistent minutes, even small advantages matter. Moody has been taking care of the ball at an elite level. His turnover percentage is just 6.77%. That's the number of times he turns the ball over per 100 actions that conclude a play. He averages 0.7 turnovers per game on 8.2 scoring attempts. That's better than 52% of players. Moody makes the right plays and keeps mistakes to a minimum. His usage rate is 17.8%. That means nearly 1 out of every 5 plays ends with him taking a shot, getting to the line, handing out an assist, or turning it over. He's involved, but not overused. And that balance makes him a great fit in the Warriors system. He's taking 7.4 field goal attempts per game, getting to the line 1.8 times, handing out 1.2 assists, and turning it over 0.7 times. Those numbers come in an average of 42.8 possessions per game. What stands out about Moody's game this season is how he's making things happen on both ends of the floor. Offensively, he's hitting shots when they matter most. His efficiency, both from the field and the free throw line, keeps the Warriors' offense flowing. Defensively, he's taken a big step forward. His ability to guard multiple positions, stay in front of quicker players, and contest shots has made the Warriors tougher as a unit. His improvement on defense has made a big difference for the Warriors. He's making smarter rotations, cutting off passing lanes, and fighting for rebounds. He's not always getting the steal or block, but he's forcing tough shots and limiting easy looks for opponents. That defensive rating of 111.0 reflects his growth on that end. Moody's ability to finish plays is another part of his game that stands out. He's efficient at grabbing defensive rebounds and closing out possessions. He may not be known as a rebounder, but he's doing enough to help the Warriors secure the ball and transition into offense. And when he's in the starting lineup, the Warriors are nearly unbeatable. That 93.8% win rate is wild. It shows the level of trust the coaching staff has in him and how well he fits with the other starters. He doesn't need to score 20 points a night to make a huge difference. He's out there doing the little things that lead to wins. Moody's teammates have benefited from his improved decision-making as well. His assist numbers are not flashy, but he's making the right reads. He's keeping the ball moving and getting it to the right spots without forcing passes. That's why his turnover numbers are so low. He's also shown the ability to step up in big moments. Whether it's knocking down a clutch three or getting a key stop on defense, Moody has proven he can handle the pressure. That kind of poise isn't common for players still early in their careers. Moses Moody has all the tools to become one of the best two-way players in the league. He's already showing flashes of that potential every time he's on the floor. With his defensive leap, scoring efficiency, and ability to play mistake-free basketball, he's becoming one of the most valuable pieces on this Warriors team. As long as he keeps growing, the future looks bright for Moody. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching,